Welcome to my channel. Today, I have an incredibly interesting video that I can't wait to share with you. This is a topic that will definitely surprise you. The celebrities who voted for Donald Trump in the 2020 election. What's particularly remarkable is that these celebrities are black, and they publicly supported Donald Trump, something that's rarely discussed. They faced criticism and attacks for speaking out about this, but I believe it's time for us to approach the issue in a more balanced way. In this video, I will take you through some surprising stories about these stars who chose to stand with Trump. Will I manage to make you jaw drop with people you never expected? Let's dive in and find out. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss any future videos. Ice Cube and the controversial decision, supporting Donald Trump and the unexpected political story. Ice Cube, a name synonymous with hard-hitting gangster rap and unapologetic opinions. However, one decision from him has left many surprised, even shocked, his support for Donald Trump. This is a story that goes beyond mere politics. It's a confrontation between values, celebrities, and those who strive to break societal boundaries. Why did Ice Cube do this? That's not an easy question to answer. Imagine a famous rapper who has long reflected the struggles of the black community, now expressing support for a president surrounded by controversy. Fans cannot help but wonder, is this decision a betrayal of the community that Ice Cube has once represented? Or is it simply the choice of someone who wants to view everything fairly without being swept away by public opinion? What is the truth? Ice Cube is not someone easily swayed by external pressures. He has always stood out for his willingness to voice his thoughts, even in the face of criticism. His support for Donald Trump isn't just a personal endorsement. It stems from the policies Trump proposed. According to Ice Cube, the country needs real changes, not just empty words. And for him, Trump could bring about these changes, even if his policies are controversial. The narrative of fake news, a phrase closely associated with Trump's campaign, adds complexity to the situation. Ice Cube has not only criticized the current administration, but also the media, arguing that they fail to provide accurate information and instead promote misleading narratives. He insists that the public needs to be alert, to view matters objectively, and not be swept up in media tricks. We must reconsider. Ice Cube, a significant figure in music and culture, is more than just a celebrity. He wields considerable influence in society, and his political decision will surely prompt us to think about how celebrities can either change or divide society. Can he bring about positive change, or will he deepen societal divisions? This is a dramatic story you won't want to miss. Let's delve deeper into Ice Cube's decisions, thoughts, and the reasons behind this controversial support. Azealia Banks' boldness, the portrait of a woman who challenges power. Azealia Banks is a strong woman who makes a powerful impact not only in music, but also with her outspoken social views. She stands out not only for her singing and rapping talent, but also as a controversial figure known for her extreme and candid opinions, especially on political and social issues. When talking about Azealia Banks, many might think of her controversies, but it's undeniable that she is a resilient woman with influence in the entertainment industry. Azealia Banks and political views. She doesn't hesitate to share her strong opinions on politics and social issues. One of her most controversial statements was criticizing the Democratic Party and how they use fear to control the public, particularly during elections. Azealia argued that politicians like Hillary Clinton exploited fear to get people to vote for her, rather than focusing on offering truly effective policies. Her comments have sparked controversy, not only because of her opposing views, but also because of the way Azealia chooses to use social media and other platforms to convey her message. She isn't afraid to challenge societal norms, which sometimes makes her a target for online attacks and public criticism. "Don't be afraid" is a strong message Azealia Banks wants to send to Hillary Clinton's supporters and society as a whole. According to her, those supporting Hillary are good people, but they've been intimidated by media strategies, causing them to vote out of fear rather than belief in practical policies. Although we may not agree with all of Azealia Banks' views, there's no denying that she is a strong woman who consistently expresses what she believes, even in the face of criticism. She is a testament to staying true to oneself, and proves that not all celebrities conform to societal or political norms. Azealia Banks is not just a music star, but also a woman with thought-provoking views. Herschel Walker, a controversial sports and political icon. Herschel Walker is not only a football legend, but also a name that has drawn global attention as he ventured into the political arena. He made an impact not just with his great runs on the field, but also by sparking public debate with his bold political decisions. But does Walker's shift from a sports star to a politician truly bring about positive change? As a highly talented football player, Walker changed the way an entire generation viewed American sports. His impressive achievements in the NFL career left everyone in awe. However, when he stepped into the political world, things were no longer as simple as when he was on the field. Herschel Walker didn't shy away from criticism, even facing skepticism from his own community. He stood up to support Donald Trump and his political views, making him a highly controversial figure. Walker's support for Trump was not a random choice. He believed that Trump was the one who could bring the change the country needed. But it was precisely these strong views that led him into a fierce battle, a battle with the critics within his own community. They argued that Walker, with his influence in the sports world, should not use that platform to engage in politics. But one thing no one could deny: Walker chose to stand up for what he believed in, even if it meant walking a difficult path. But did supporting Trump really bring positive change to the country? These questions remain unanswered. And although Herschel Walker is not a traditional politician, he did something very few dare to do: stand firm in his beliefs, challenge all expectations, and face opposition. This is the power of determination and risk-taking, something not everyone can do. Walker's involvement in politics is not just a story about football or politics, but also about humanity. He is not only a famous athlete, but also a symbol of change. When he entered politics, Walker faced not only the challenges of his sports career, but also new struggles in the political arena. A place where every decision, every statement, could change the entire landscape. We may not agree with everything Herschel Walker has done, but we cannot deny that he has sparked a revolution in how we view the connection between sports and politics. Will Walker's determination create a lasting impact in American politics? Will he be the trailblazer who brings real change to the country? The answers are still waiting to be revealed, but one thing is certain: Walker has kept us reflecting on what truly matters in life. Jim Brown, a straightforward man and his own political choice. Jim Brown, one of the greatest sports legends of all time, is certainly no stranger to the public. However, when he openly aligned himself with political views that are not very popular, many were surprised and even criticized him. Some began calling him Uncle Tom, a derogatory nickname, but Brown did not shy away from facing that. He has his own opinions and is willing to defend them, even if they go against the majority of public opinion. Yes, you'll likely hear many offensive names and terms attached to Jim Brown throughout his political journey. But that hasn't changed him. Whether it's criticism or negative labels, he remains firm in his choices. Shout out to Larry Eldon and his film crew, Uncle Tom Productions, Brown boldly said, showing respect for those with differing views. He understands that society is full of contrasting perspectives, and sometimes we need to accept that to progress. With public calls for condemnation, many thought Brown's support for the president's policies was a betrayal of his community. However, for Jim Brown, The issue was that he could approach the president and freely express his views. It's a privilege and an opportunity he truly values. The president told me I support what he's doing and I stand by him, Brown said straightforwardly, showing that sometimes politics is not about the choice of the crowd, but about the individual's own choice. One of the greatest things about America, according to Brown, is the freedom to express one's views. We all have our own opinions and thoughts, he asserted, and that's why people should not feel ashamed when choosing to go against the majority. No one is entirely right in everything they do, and it's those differences that shape the identity of society. Brown understands that everyone has the right to choose and express their thoughts, whether they support the president or not. The best thing is I can approach the president, and whenever I need, he will listen to my thoughts. Brown proudly spoke of his relationship with the president. That's something very few people can claim, an opportunity to truly be heard, understood, and share their views without being judged or criticized. This further proves that in American society, the freedom of speech is always respected, and every individual has the right to have a voice. Despite facing a wave of public criticism, Jim Brown has no regrets about his decision. He sees it as part of his life journey, where each individual must face challenges and tough decisions. I hit the jackpot when I was born, Brown reflected, looking back on his life with pride and gratitude. I had the chance to live, to witness change, and to choose my own path. Jim Brown's life is not a story about following the crowd or sticking to the beaten path. He has always been someone willing to do things differently. His legendary sports career speaks for itself, and now he continues to do the same in politics, fearless, undeterred, simply doing what he believes is right. Whether you agree with Jim Brown's political choice or not, there is no denying that he is a model of determination and freedom of thought. He has spent his life proving that sometimes the right choice is not the easy one, but the one that brings about real change. And for Jim Brown, that's exactly what he has been and continues to do. Changing, daring to face challenges, and never afraid to walk his own path. Jimmy Walker and political change, a revolution of voice and vision. Many may be surprised to learn that Jimmy Walker, the famous comedy star of the 70s, is now one of Donald Trump's strongest supporters. Yes, you heard that right. The very same Jimmy Walker who made America laugh with his role in Good Times. But after Trump entered politics, Walker chose to stand by him, despite criticism from colleagues and the public. Is this support truly justified? Why Trump and not someone else? We all know that politics in America is full of power games, smooth rhetoric, and endless debates. But for Jimmy Walker, it's time for change. He has spoken out bluntly and decisively, saying that political correctness has become boring and ineffective. Look at it this way. In Walker's world, he is not afraid of being judged or criticized. Come join me, Jimmy, and we'll change everything, Walker openly shares. This might shock many people, but for Walker, politics needs to change. He doesn't want to be part of the endless cycle of politicians who only talk and never act. That's why he decided to support Trump, a man who dares to speak plainly and isn't afraid of opposition. Although Trump may not be viewed as perfect in the eyes of many, at least he is willing to face the truth and act according to what he believes in. Walker is a legend in the American comedy industry, but do you know how much this industry has changed since he began his career? Back in the day, comedy wasn't bound by such strict societal standards. Comedians could freely express their thoughts and opinions without fear of being criticized. However, things are different now. If you say the wrong thing, just one inappropriate comment, you can face heavy criticism and even lose your career. This is why Walker feels that he can no longer stay silent. This is certainly a question many people ask when hearing about Walker's support for Trump. In reality, many cannot understand why someone like Walker, a person who has made millions laugh, would side with someone like Donald Trump. But for Walker, The reason is very clear. Trump is the only one who can bring real change to America. Trump's not a good person, Walker admits, but it's those imperfect qualities that make him the ideal choice in Walker's eyes. He sees in Trump a man who dares to do what many other politicians won't. Trump isn't afraid of failure, isn't afraid of criticism. He can make decisions without worrying about political consequences, something that many traditional politicians are unable to do. And that's exactly why Walker chose to support Trump. Of course, when Jimmy Walker sided with Trump, he faced a lot of backlash. Many in the comedy industry and the public spoke out against him. But for Walker, this is not about image or societal acceptance. He wants to do what he believes is right, not to please others. "You don't understand," Walker shares. "We need to change. What's been happening before is no longer working. Politics needs a wake-up call." These words from Walker are not just a simple call to action. They are a wake-up call from a generation tired of empty words and politicians who only talk but never act. And surely Jimmy Walker has made us all rethink our views on American politics. Adrian Broner and his controversial view on Donald Trump, the truth and hopes for change. Adrian Broner, known for his bluntness, shared a bold perspective on Donald Trump and the potential for significant change if he were to return to the Oval Office. For Broner, this wasn't just a political choice. It was a hope for a change that he believes would benefit him personally. "If he gets in office, a lot of things will change, and everything will be better for me," Broner said, expressing his confidence in Trump's ability to alter the current state of American society and politics. This statement not only garnered attention, but also sparked a wave of debate about the intersection of sports, politics, and celebrities. What stands out is Broner's willingness to openly support a controversial figure like Donald Trump. "No disrespect to anyone out there, but it's great," he said, suggesting that while not everyone may agree with him, he remains firm in his personal views. This reflects a reality where many celebrities, whether in sports or other industries, often face criticism when they publicly express political opinions. However, for Broner, supporting Trump wasn't just a personal action. It was a declaration of his belief in the change that Trump could bring. Dennis Rodman, another famous figure with a close relationship to Donald Trump, serves as an example of the unusual empathy between those in the worlds of sports and politics. Broner acknowledged that he wasn't surprised to see Rodman as a Trump supporter, as both are prominent individuals who aren't afraid to step out of the box and challenge societal expectations. "Now I'm not surprised. I can see it," Broner shared, expressing his empathy for Rodman's journey and how he has expressed himself, even in controversial situations. An interesting point in this conversation is when Broner brought up Trump's trip to Singapore, a historic event in U.S.-North Korea diplomatic relations. Broner didn't hesitate to joke about it. "Look at those hands. Are they little hands?" A humorous question, but also a subtle critique of the impressions Trump left, from the smallest details to the biggest events. Though the comment was somewhat playful, it clearly reflected how celebrities like Broner view and engage with the country's leaders. With everything said, the story between Adrian Broner and Donald Trump offers an intriguing perspective on the intersection of sports, politics, and the personal lives of celebrities. Can politics truly bring about real change, or is it just an unfounded belief? And can these personal viewpoints change the way we perceive the leaders of today's society? Jimmy McMillan and the confrontation with the American political system. Necessary reforms. Jimmy McMillan, one of the most attention-grabbing figures in American politics, didn't hesitate to share his views on the injustices within the current financial and political system. His statements are strong, direct, and constantly challenge what people have grown accustomed to. "Each of us is 61 shareholders of all those who receive that money," McMillan said, reflecting an undeniable reality about the distribution of resources and benefits among the different social classes. Under his criticism, one of the biggest issues in the current system is healthcare and education. Affordable healthcare has paid for itself, Macmillan commented, pointing to the discrepancies in providing medical services to the public, with excessively high and unfair costs. And when talking about education, he didn't hesitate to criticize the system, stating, "The student loan debt mortgage has already been paid for that money." This is a major issue, as students and their families struggle with enormous debt just to access higher education. However, Macmillan's views do not stop at healthcare and education. He continues to criticize Barack Obama's financial policies, particularly in giving all domestic banking corporations the money sent to U.S. Treasury bond sellers. This is an accusation of lack of transparency in the government's financial decisions, where large sums of money are distributed to corporations without providing any clear benefits to the public. Macmillan, always blunt, asserts that no one truly understands how this money is being used, and this only increases frustration within the community. Not stopping there, Macmillan expressed his disillusionment and frustration with the current political system. "Don't put me in there. I'll leave with a bag to have a good time," he said, referring to the government's failure to serve the needs and rights of the people. These words reflect a sense of helplessness and profound dissatisfaction with decisions and policies that do not bring about real change. However, in a society full of challenges and injustice, Macmillan still holds firm to his belief that necessary changes must be made. He is calling for a fundamental shift in the system, not just politically, but also in the way resources are allocated and used. It's a confrontation with harsh reality, where the rights of the people are not protected, and policies do not reflect the actual needs of society. Macmillan's call may be a wake-up call for many. In a world full of discrimination and inequality, he has spoken out for the forgotten people, those who have no voice in the system. It is a powerful reminder that real change cannot come from empty promises, but must be carried out through action by rethinking the entire system and reforming it to better serve the interests of all citizens. Kanye West and Donald Trump, an unavoidable showdown. Imagine a defining moment in recent history. Kanye West, one of the biggest stars in the music industry, made waves when he appeared at the White House wearing a MAGA, Make America Great Again, hat. From that moment on, not only Kanye's fans but the entire world had to face an unbelievable truth. Kanye West, one of the biggest icons in hip-hop and the African-American community, had taken sides with Donald Trump, a president who had sparked countless controversies during his time in office. This move wasn't just a shock to his fans, but it forced the African-American community to confront a major question. Is Kanye still one of us in the fight against injustice? But the story didn't stop at surprise. When Kanye publicly supported Trump, a wave of backlash came from his followers and the African-American community. They felt betrayed, as Kanye, once a role model for social movements, now stood by a politician widely seen as racist. But here's the interesting part. Instead of staying silent, Kanye continued to walk his own path, unfazed by the criticism, and even felt proud of his choices. While the backlash from the community was significant, many others felt that Kanye was doing something many of us wouldn't dare, questioning the social values we've been taught since childhood. When Kanye appeared with the MAGA hat, he wasn't just a star. He became a symbol of boldness, of standing firm in the face of opposing opinions, a person unafraid to confront societal expectations. But Kanye wasn't the only one sparking this debate. Donald Trump, once loved and respected before his presidential run, changed many people's views when he emerged as the Republican candidate. Those who had once been friends and supporters now felt betrayed, as if Trump had turned his back on everything they had once believed. Yet running with the Republican Party only made Trump stronger, and he could not be swayed by the public's criticism. Why did Kanye do this? It's not just about politics, but about the values each individual chooses. Kanye has always gone against what others expected of him, and when he stood beside Trump, it wasn't just simple support, It was a strong statement about freedom, the right to choose, and the right to speak his mind. While others opposed, Kanye proved that he wasn't afraid of the challenges or obstacles that public opinion might bring. A person might be labeled as racist, but does their political choice define who they are entirely? While public opinion can change in an instant, Kanye and Trump remain steadfast in their decisions, despite the social backlash. So, can we continue to view Kanye and Trump through the lens of society? Or will we learn to respect the freedom in personal choice and viewpoints? The answer is still uncertain, but one thing is for sure. This showdown will continue to make us think deeply about politics, society, and ourselves. Mike Tyson, the boxing hero, and his shocking remarks about Donald Trump. Do you remember Mike Tyson, the man who silenced the world with his historic fights? But now Tyson is not just making headlines for his thunderous punches in the ring, but also for his controversial statements that make people reconsider their political views. And guess what? When Tyson publicly supported Donald Trump, he surprised many. But for Iron Mike, this is just part of his uncompromising lifestyle. "All the tough guys support me," Tyson said. He doesn't need admiration from anyone. Despite the criticism, he remains steadfast, continuing to live as true to himself as possible, even if it shocks many. What makes Tyson special? It's not just because he's a legendary boxer, but also how he confronts social and political pressures. "I don't need to please anyone," Tyson bluntly shared. In a world where people are always trying to create a perfect image, Tyson chose the path of living authentically, living according to what he believes in. When he stands by Donald Trump, he's not just talking about politics. He's making a bold statement, not afraid of criticism, not afraid of being alone in difficult decisions. Tyson is a man who never backs down, even when his words make the entire community stir. So, what keeps us interested in Mike Tyson? It's his relentless resilience and honesty. You may not agree with him, but you can't deny the influence he carries. Tyson is not just a boxing legend. He's a symbol of freedom of expression, unafraid of challenges or judgment. Surely Mike Tyson's journey has never been easy, but that's exactly why he continues to make waves, both in the ring and in life. Let's look back at Tyson's peak moments and explore the bold perspectives he brings. Shaquille O'Neal and his relationship with Donald Trump, a different perspective. Shaquille O'Neal, a basketball legend and successful businessman, is well known not only for his on-court talent, but also for his straightforwardness in public statements. One of his most notable remarks was when he publicly acknowledged his friendship with Donald Trump, a statement that surprised many. However, this relationship doesn't seem to confuse O'Neal at all. Shaq said, "You know, Donald is my friend. I just think he just thinks he said it wrong. I think if he could rephrase some of the things he said and put it in a business context, it would actually make sense." This statement shows that Shaq isn't just a friend of Trump's, but also someone who understands what Trump is trying to do, even though some of his remarks might occasionally stir controversy. Shaq's view of Trump differs from what many might expect from celebrities who support him. O'Neal believes that despite Trump's bluntness, which can sometimes be uncomfortable, he actually possesses a strong business mindset. Donald is like a straightforward guy. If he sees your shirt untucked, he can't breathe. This may sound odd, but in reality, Shaq is referring to Trump's no-nonsense attitude and the practicality he brings to the table. He believes that Trump is focused on what is practical and what could move the country forward, without being swayed by complex social issues. As someone with a sharp business mind, Shaq seems to evaluate Trump not just from a political perspective, but as a true entrepreneur. "I'm not surprised by that," Shaq says, "because when you're not too sensitive about all the social issues and you're more focused on helping the country in practical ways, using the resources you have to do great things, you tend to become conservative." Shaquille O'Neal's relationship with Donald Trump may be hard for some people to understand, but for Shaq, It's a deep understanding of what Trump is trying to achieve in his leadership role. Shaq is not just an athlete, but also a businessman, and that enables him to view the situation from a practical, business-oriented perspective. Shaq is one of those guys. He has a great business mind, he says about Trump, showing empathy for what Trump is trying to do. Of course, this doesn't mean everyone will agree with Shaq or Trump, but when discussing their relationship, Shaquille O'Neal clearly isn't someone easily swayed by negative reactions. He stands firm in his beliefs and is willing to explain why his relationship with Trump makes sense. For Shaq, standing firm and pursuing what he believes in is the most important thing. So, what do you think about Shaq's relationship with Donald Trump? Share your thoughts, and let's discuss these differing perspectives. Thank you all for taking the time to watch today's video. I hope that the stories and information about the celebrities who voted for Donald Trump in the 2020 election have surprised you and given you a fresh perspective on this topic. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exciting videos in the future. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in more engaging discussions ahead.